Hello folks, we are back, and this is going to be part 5 of my workflow using PixInsight. I'm going to begin. Let me share my screen, and by showing you Cosmetic Correction, I keep a process icon saved, and before I do the weighted batch processing of any image with I apply this to it, and this is a template idea I picked up from Adam Block. The only thing that I change, I don't add I've got to check, but I don't use a master dark. I simply click on use auto detect, and I have hot sigma checked, and I don't change anything. And if you want to save this as a process and give it a name, Cosmetic Correction or whatever you want to name it, by setting the identifier. I can't even spell. Yeah, you can't leave a space. Then you can save this icon among your other process icons that you're building for yourself. And then when you open the script for weighted batch processing, and you go to your lights, then you, under Cosmetic Correction, you go apply, and you click on, I've got 2 of them now. Just click on the one you're using, and I'm going to delete that before I forget, and you will apply an auto pixel remover for hot pixels, and that's the purpose of the Cosmetic Correction, and it works to a T, and I thank you, Adam Block, for that tidbit. So let's close out of this, because this was actually not part 5's subject, and we're going to delete that. By the way, I have a suggestion for you. If you have decided to save that as a part of your projects, let me suggest that you immediately go up to process icons, and save your process icons. And I'm going to go ahead and save them. I haven't made any changes. Replace them, and then sometimes what will happen is you create your new process, and then the next thing you know, you get a phone call, you walk away, you come back, you decide you're going to save your project and do something else, and then you come back later that day and you forget you have that process added, and you end up closing down PixInsight, and it's not saved. So I suggest as you make these, you save these, and the list will grow. Okay, now we're going to deal with the all-important feature of PixInsight, which is to crop your images, and it's a form of framing your images, and there's a couple of steps involved, but let's go ahead and let's open up any one of the 3, and we'll take the hydrogen alpha. And I actually don't want to crop anything, but I'm going to have to, because if you look at some of these images, I have a border over here, and I want to remove that. I have a border, and this is only because of the multiple nights of imaging, and my plate solving isn't precise. And on this one, I really don't see that border, but I have a slight border all the way around. And so what I want to do is I'm going to take this one, I'm going to click on my saved process, dynamic crop, or you can go to process, all processes, and go down to dynamic crop, which is right here. And I'm going to click the reset and then I'm going to move this in just a tad. I'm going to move this in just a tad, and I'm going to move this in a little more than a tad, and I'm going to move this in a little more than a tad. And so this is going to be my reference frame. Do not crop this. This is the last cropping process you'll do. Move this out of your way. Now we're going to crop this. Drag your process over to your, this is S2 and it cropped it. Then drag this over and crop that. Now you can crop this one by clicking the check. The other two you just drag the process on top of. This you click on the check. Now all three of these are cropped precisely, and if you layered one on top of the other, the stars would all match up. The use now of the geometry feature, which allows you to look at the rotation of your image for better framing, is the subject of our next part of this workflow process. So a great feature, dynamic crop. When you're finished using it, close it. You can't keep that open and then later on decide to run dynamic background extraction, because you can only have one of these programs that have a dynamic feature opened at a time. So close it out. Now I have another thought on that. Let's just suppose that you thought you might come back and use this same process. I've already deleted it by closing it out, but you could save that particular cropping specific, and if you wanted to have it just for the record, if you wanted to, let's say you decided just to shut all these down and start from scratch, well then you could still use that same level of cropping by using this process. I don't ever do it. It's just not, for me it's not needed, but you can do it. That's one of the advantages of using these process icons. You can save the process and use it over and over and over again, forever and ever and ever. Amen. All right, well, with that being said, I'll see you back here for the next part 6.